Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Gold is Tarot. I want to thank my subscribers for still being subscribed to me. I want to thank anyone new watching. Welcome, and I hope you find this valuable and useful information. If you have any comments, you can always leave them below. Happy New Year, and welcome to 2020. This was for everybody, a big year, and I really feel like this is definitely a year for grounding, stability, and basically definitely finding your purpose and path that you need to be on. I also think this is definitely going to be a very big year for finally getting the manifestations we've been wanting. If it's been something you've kind of been desiring, but you think you've been hitting obstacles and roadblocks, I feel like this year definitely will bring what you've been most desiring. Now the question is, do you really want it? So, like they say, be careful what you ask for. But yeah, um, we have. I'll start the information for the moons in the beginning of the video. That way, I don't have to keep repeating it. So we have a new moon. Sorry, I apologize. A full moon in Cancer, January 10th. This will also be a lunar eclipse, so it'll be magnified. The theme for this moon is going to be emotions and feelings. So the purpose of it is to dig out all that old, what is it? That old, any negative emotions, resentment, guilt, pride, ego that you've been feeling or kind of pressing down, suppressing, I should say. And everyone's going to just kind of feel this surge of emotion. Now, if you are a water sign, you may kind of be used to it. If you're not, you may be a little shocked that you may be this emotional, but it's needed because we need to do this spiritual cleansing before we just jump right into the new year and start trying to manifest and start new goals and such. So some of the advice that I suggest, and I know some other people have suggested, is connecting with family and friends. If you don't have any family or friends nearby, get out there and maybe, mingle and socialize, because you definitely don't want to sit at home or alone and go through these emotions yourself. If you are part of a religious organization, you might want to go to your church or a place of worship. Prayer is definitely needed during this time. With this being in Cancer, it is a good time for you to connect with your mother or mother figure, because the mother, Cancer rules the mother or the mother figure. It also rules home and home and family matters. So there may be some family matters that come about around that time. But like I said, the main purpose of this is to clean out and organize, literally and figuratively, your life so that you can make room for the new. And it's also like, if you're familiar with gardening, before you plant a flower or a plant, you have to dig out those old roots so you can you can turn over that new soil and that fresh soil to put in that new plant. So this is definitely the time for that. The new moon we have taking place will be on the 24th of January, just a couple of days after the sun enters Aquarius, and it will be in the sign of Aquarius. So the theme of this moon is basically now step 2 of embracing change. And I believe this is a time where those goals you have for the new year, whether it be whatever it be, whether it be exercise more, better diet, make more money, whatever. Now is the time to move forward on that. See, the first step was to clear the space for it. Now it's time to move forward. Also, with Aquarius, it's funny because with the sign of Aquarius, it's about individualism, but also society. So my advice would be, if you are kind of a person, you stay to yourself, which isn't bad at all, I would suggest that you go out there and maybe find some kind of organizations that you can volunteer with or be around, because right now, especially around this time, but I believe for this year, uniting and coming together will be a big thing. And this can be in church. This can be just volunteer groups. This can be some people are involved in fraternities and sororities, whatever. You just need to find a group that would that you find have the common values you need, so you can unite, so you can have a support system. That's what I'm looking for. Support system behind you to help you in your goals. Some people have their family that is their support system in their social group. So that's what you need to be around, people who will keep you accountable for your goals. But at the same time, during around this time, you need to understand yourself. So not to get wrapped up in your group or in your family or in your society, but embrace it, but can remember who you are. Around the 24th, you may notice like some change, because that Aquarius does have the ruler of Aquarius is the ancient ruler is Saturn. The modern ruler is Uranus. So change is a big thing. Some people may be leaving the job, doing a new career path. Some people may start a new job. Some people may leave a relationship. Some people may start a new relationship. What basically what I'm saying is there could be a big change unexpectedly. I don't see it as being negative. I just think it's this change that may come about is basically to go ahead and put you right on the path of where you need to be for this year. So I went ahead and pulled a card from the Angels of Abundance, and we got, for the collective, and we got, can you see that? Clearing debts. It says your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. So I hope this intro was very beneficial for you, and we're going to go ahead and get into the reading. Just remember that for whichever sign you're reading for, it applies to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, any of your personal planets or planets you have stellium, which is 3 or more planets in. And I will see you later on in 2020. Good luck. Hi Taurus, welcome to your January 2020 and 2020 spread. I'm doing them both together so that I want to make separate videos. So I went ahead and got the 2020 New Year spread out. I have 8 cards out. The first set of cards will be the lessons learned from 2019. The second set will be the biggest achievement of last year. The third set is what you released last year in 2019. Fourth set is what to expect in the new year 2020. Number 5 is the 2020 challenge. Number 6 is theme of this year. Number 7 is the advice for 2020, and number 8 is what the advantage you have in this new year. So for your first set of the lessons you learned last year, you got Major Arcana, the Hanging Man, and the 3 of Swords. So I get the sense that last year you were enlightened. The lessons you learned was, or you were enlightened on a certain heartbreak. I also think that you learned how to heal from that, because the Hangman talks about, it's one card that talks about waiting for enlightenment. Because if you look at the card, the man's in suspension, but he has this halo-like thing around his head, so he's being enlightened during that time of suspension. And I think while you were doing that, while you were going through that process, you may experience some kind of heartbreak. Next, for clarification, you got the 6 of Swords. So 6 of Swords talks about moving away from old ideas, old memories, old it's, even though the Swords is an air, it correlates with the air signs. With the car, as you can see, it's on a boat with water. So in this sense, it also talks about old emotions and feelings. So last year you could have did a lot of cleaning out of old subconscious ways of thinking and feelings, which helped you last year. So that was a lesson you learned. For the biggest achievement 2019, you got the Ace of Wands. So your biggest achievement could have been finding, because Wands is a card associated with passion. You could have found what you were passionate about and were moving forward with that. For clarification, you got Major Arcana, the Star. So you maybe even, like I said, you found what you were looking for. You may have been praying for some guidance for a new, it's not, I won't say it's similar. It could mean a new job. Some of you could have become entrepreneurs because you start making money from something you love doing, a craft or whatnot. Some of you could be performers. But some, I get that. Some of you made something to do with the stage. So some of you could have found your calling that has to do with the fine arts. Some of you, because sometimes the Ace of Wands could also talks about love. So some of you, biggest achievement, you could have found love. It may have been a serious commitment, or you could have just had a good relationship last year. Let's see if I can get any more clarifications. And then you got Major Arcana, the Magician. So this also tells me that a lot of you were able to manifest some things you really wanted last year, and you were proud of yourself, because that is an achievement in itself. And now I feel like many of you are still seeing the effects of that now. For what to expect in 2020, I apologize. For what you released in 2020, you got the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles talks about assessing your resources and seeing how far you've come and where you've got to go. But with that being in a release position, I feel like some of you may have kind of let go of, I got the word self-doubt. You know how when sometimes you're working on something, you keep stopping to see how far you're going, you're working and you stop to see how far you're going. That's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can cause you to not get to the end goal as quickly as you expected. So I think a lot of you were able to just move forward, and there we go, overthinking. That's the word I'm thinking of. Trying to think of. Let me get a clarification. You got Page of Swords. So Page of Swords lets me know that you probably, it kind of goes along that you probably released an old way of thinking and brought it a new way. You also got the King of Cups. You could have released someone who had water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Or you could have, I also see this being you released, not released. You became more emotionally stable, whether you were too emotional or whether you weren't emotionally attached enough. You were able to stabilize it. So for what to expect in 2020, you got the Seven of Wands and the Four of Swords. So this tells me this new year, you're going to probably have to defend a lot of your views and your ideas and your thoughts. Now the next question is it worth defending? Because sometimes people will ask for explanation and everyone doesn't deserve an explanation. So you're going to have to protect your, because before the Seven of Wands, if you don't know, is about defending. If you can look at it, you have a guy, there's 6 staffs pointed up at him, and he has his he's on top with his like in a protective mode. And then of course you got the Four of Swords that talks about recharging and kind of laying low energy. So yeah, this year you might want to kind of retreat. I mean, not be antisocial or anything, but you won't be as make your moves in quiet and silence. That's what I'm thinking of. Let's see if I can get another clarification. Let's see, clarification for the one more, and you got the Three of Cups. So yeah, this Three of Cups about friends, but I feel like You might not be as social as you may previously been, like last year, or how your personality is. You may be more to yourself because you're moving and you're making your own moves in silent. Then come on. Oop. So for number 5, you got your 2020 challenge. You got the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles talks about making a decision. It can be, with it being Pentacles, it can be making a decision when it comes to money, making a decision when it comes to material possession, making a decision when it comes to a career, the current job you're at. Like I said, some of you may have started your own business and you're wondering if you should just put all your energy and become an entrepreneur full-time, or if you should do like a part-time thing where you're still at your other job but still working on your own business. Let's see. You got Queen of Cups. So it could be, you can be dealing with another water sign. That can be, like I said, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or like I said, some of you, because the Queen of Cups can also talks about, Queen of Cups also talks about creative endeavors. It talks about health. It also talks about love. So with another angle, you could be making a decision to between two partners, or making a decision where you are, make sure, there we go, that you want to stay single or actually get into a relationship. So next you have, for that, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is obviously the Ace is about planting the seed. In terms of Pentacles, the material wealth. It can be a job, it can be a career. So yes, some of you may be deciding that you want to do this entrepreneur or performing or whatever as a full-time job and not a part-time thing. And it's in a challenge position. I don't think it'll be a problem. I think it's just more so you are contemplating like I said, which way to go. Do you, maybe in the first 6 months of the year, you keep your job and then you kind of work part-time, like at night on your own position, and then later in the year you finally decide that, hey, I'm just going to go full-fledged and do my own thing. So in the 6th position is the theme of 2020, and you got the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups can mean a few things. The Knights are always, they're not messages, but they're kind of gifts that come in. For the Knight of Cups, it can be an offer of love or offer a relationship. This can also be, like we talked about, Cups can mean creative endeavors. So this could be you finding out that you got an investor for a business. You finding out that you having new increasing your number of customers. This could be you gaining more resources to move forward. You also got the Two of Wands. So Two of Wands, if you look at the card, the guy has 2 wands. So he has 2 options. He's chosen one, but he still has like a one behind him. So it's like a plan A, plan B, and he has a world in his hands. So I think that goes back to the thing. Many of you may decide that you are still going to keep your current job and work part-time on your other positions. And as you can see from that card, too many cards. From that card, he has the world in his hands. So plan A and plan B will both work. It's just a matter of which one would you like to execute first. You got the 6 of Cups. So you could be, some of you could be, like I said, be living out your childhood dream. This is all about getting your groove back. This is all about getting that nostalgia. This is all about, you may have wanted to be a singer when you were younger, and now you're moving forward with that now. In the 7th position, you have advice for 2020, and you got Major Arcana, the High Priestess. The High Priestess rules the sign of Cancer. So this full moon coming up in a couple of days on the 10th could be very significant for you. You could have, you could receive some very good news. This also talks about spiritual retreat, because the Empress is kind of like a, I won't say she's a nun, but she's kind of like that. She lives in her place of worship, or in her temple, and she studies and she's given enlightenment. So like I said, this year you may be doing more of, like I said, this year you won't be doing so much of going out and socializing. You're going to be focused on your goals and focused on bettering yourself and focused on moving in the direction that you want to be in. You're trying to sculpt the mold and sculpt yourself into the person you know you're meant to be. You also got major arcana, the Hierophant, so you are definitely committed to this. This, you could also be dealing with, this is also associated with the sign of Taurus, so you can be dealing with another Taurus. This can symbolize you, and you're very committed to what you're doing. Let me get another clarifier. You can also be entering commitment. That can be a relationship-wise, a marriage, or that can be a, what is that? Business partnership. Clarifier for advice for 2020. Advice for 2020. Wow. Another major arcana, the Empress. So you could be dealing with a Libra. I apologize. Not the Empress. Justice. So you could be dealing with a Libra. But if you are dealing with the court system, go everything by, I got the message. Go about it by the book. Do everything by the book. You know what I mean? Extra card came out. You got 8 of Swords. Do not doubt yourself. 8 of Swords is getting caught up in your thoughts and doubting yourself. And that's the advice for this. You don't doubt yourself. Just move forward. You've got that Ace of Wands. So you've got that passion, that fire to move forward. You've got the energy. So move forward. Obviously, you want to make sure you're taking the right steps, but you don't want to doubt yourself and overthink. For position 8, we have the advantage you have this year. You got major arcana, Death. So this could be, you could be dealing with a Scorpio. That can be the advantage. That person could be a resource for you this year. You can also maybe have that placement in your chart and that personality. If you tap into that energy in your chart, that can be a very big advantage for you. But I also get the sense that, because death is also another form of it talks about transformation. It's ending something so something else can bloom. I need to change the lighting. Give me one moment. Where did I put that remote control? Ah, here it is. I think that's better. Okay, so if you look at the Death card, you see, you know, Death and the flag and the white horse with the, I think he has red eyes. But in the corner there, you see sunlight. So it's like a new day, a new horizon, a new stage. So you are an evolved being now. You've got a new mindset. You've got a new what is the word I'm looking for? Basically, you know that you're not the same person you were last year, 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10 years ago. You're ready. You have that advantage because you're ready to move forward in that. For clarification, you got the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands talks about conflict. It can be either inner within yourself, or it can be outer with other people. With it being in the advantage position, I feel like this is not some conflict with you. I feel like this is more so everybody will be worried about something else, and they'll be too distracted to even worry about what's going on with you. And I got a feeling that's what you're gonna want. You're not gonna want all eyes on you right now because you're still moving and you're still making your decision and working towards your goal, and that gives you a reason not to be involved because you don't have the time for it. Let me see if I can get another clarification. Let's see, clarify what else does Taurus, what advantage do they have this year? What advantage do they have in 2020? Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest night, but it's also the night that you've been waiting on the most. Obviously, the Pentacles talks about material wealth, talks about possessions, talks about jobs, but it can also just mean something you've been waiting for the longest. Especially if we go back up to the second place and where it talks about your biggest achievement, and you got the Star. That was the laying the foundation of what you want now. So with this Knight of Pentacles showing up, it's like I get a feeling that you consistently get these little nuggets of blessings that come into your life that'll help, these resources that are going to keep coming into your life that'll help you when, if you feel like you've got an obstacle and you're stuck, you just wake up and you notice, you get a message, you'll get a phone call, you meet somebody who can help you get to where you're going. So that's the advantage you have for 2020. Now let's see if we can do a spread for January. If I hadn't said it, this is also for if you have Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, or if you have a stellium, which is 3 or more planets in the sign of Taurus. Or if you're a cross-watcher. What message do you have for January 2020 for Taurus? What message do you have for January 2020 for Taurus? You got major arcana, the Temperance. Temperance talks about it's a good omen because it tells you that what you're wanting is coming. It's in the works. The universe is working on it, but you need to have patience. That is the card of patience, because if you look at the card, it's a peaceful card. And you got the 2 of Cups back there. So, one moment. There we go. So, Temperance talks, if you look at, they got the 2 cups back there, and it's an angel, and it all talks about balance. So things have to be placed and have to be in order before the next step. So in 2020, this is your, I won't say waiting period. I'm not going to tell you that you have to wait, but this is your time to get things in order and to be patient and to know that what you're wanting and your goal in the next step, those will be revealed to you. Next, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and you have the 4 of Swords. These kind of go along with what I'm saying. Ace of Pentacles is about planting that seed. It's about, especially with this new, you got the full moon coming the 10th, and you got the new moon coming the 24th. Make sure you plant those seeds of what you want, because, see, these moons, they affect you for the next 6 months. So you'll see the benefits of what you do now. Let's see, 6 months from now will be June, July. So, and that'll be around summertime. So, especially when the Aquarius moon, if you are getting ready to move out and being more of an entrepreneur, you, like I talked about in the earlier video, you're definitely going to want to have to get together with a like-minded people, a group or something that can help you move forward, network, and find people that can, you can find someone you can exchange your resources with, so you both can move up. With this 4 of Swords, you'll have some ideas come through patience and meditation and thinking. You got the Queen of Cups, which talks about creativity. It talks about love. It talks about health. So that's definitely good for you now. Be sure this year, be sure to take your health in consideration. Work out not so you can look a certain size, but so you can achieve a certain health. You got the King of Pentacles. That's money. That's good wealth coming in this month. That's good management of money. And you have Major Arcana, justice. So you could be dealing with a Libra this month, or you could be winning a court case that can garner you more money. I kind of want to do, I'm going to 6 cards, but I kind of want to do some more cards. Let's see. What else do you have for Taurus for January 2020? What else do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising for January 2020? You got 5 of Swords. It talks about independence. It talks about going about it yourself. There may be some people that you leave behind, or that leave you behind on your new path, but that's okay, because sometimes we're only meant to be with people for a certain amount of time, and then they separate their paths, and you always find new people. You got 5 of Wands, 2 5s. That's the only 5. Yeah, 2 5s. There may be some conflict with this, with the I keep wanting to say the Empress, with the Justice out here. I got the message that if you deal with some conflict with other people, go about it diplomatically. Don't try to avoid it, because you won't be able, if you're involved, you won't be able to avoid it. But say what you have to say, do what you need to do, and move on. Because there may be some people who want to keep harping on the subject, and that's just a tactic for them to distract you. But no, go about it diplomatically and move forward in your goal. And be patient, because everything's going to work out. So next, I'm just going to shuffle these for right now. Next, I want to pull cards from the Romance Angels, and I'll separate it. I'll do couples first, and I'll do singles. Okay, Angels, what message do you have for Taurus who are in relationships? What message do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, who are in relationships? 3 cards. What message do you have? Okay. First one, you deserve love. You are lovable. Your reading was very similar to Aries. So if you have Aries close in your chart, or if you're dealing with an Aries, be sure to watch their video. What message do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Let's see. Lastly, you have honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Clarification. One card each. If some of you are in a relationship but you're kind of ready to move forward, like a marriage or something, I can see that, and I can see that in the near future. But then you got clarification for the you deserve love. You got King of Pentacles, but I feel like you need to make an investment. I'm not saying you're not doing the right work now. I just feel like there's a little more work that needs to be done. This can even be on the financial end. You both probably need to make sure your finances in order before combining them. You can look at your credit scores. That's important, because marriage is a business. There's love, but it is a business. But like I said, I see very soon, especially in the order, you got you deserve love, then you have very soon, then you have honeymoon. So I'm thinking, like I said, this new moon and full moon, January, by June, July, you should see some major advancement in your career, in your relationships, in your money, all that. Let's see, clarification for very soon. Clearly decide what you want instead of coming out. Okay. You got Queen of Cups for very soon. Again, very soon says clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. With the Queen of Cups showing up, you could definitely be dealing with a water sign. I feel like a lot of you are. And if some of the investment you might need to make into your relationship, if some of you are emotionally detached and more of a logical, which I'm not saying, let's see, earth signs can be known to be very practical. You might want to add more emotion and show more affection. Your partner may be seeking that from you, or you may be seeking that from your partner. For honeymoon, you got the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles talks about work. It talks about planning. Some of you may have just got married and you're just telling you that you need to plan for your honeymoon. Some of you, you may be wanting a certain kind and you maybe can't afford it right now, so it's telling you to make sure you plan for it and save for it. But I don't see any warning on the front for relationships for couples. Nope. Good, I like that. Next we'll do for singles. What message do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury for singles? What message do you have for them? Ooh. Flirt. Extend a lighthearted energy to others, okay? Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers and affirmations and visualizations help bring you together. I kind of see the direction of this. Ooh, that came flying out. Love yourself first, yeah. So for any of you singles that are wanting that, yeah, right now, these first 6 months, lay the groundwork. With these cards coming up, I'm not seeing any challenges at all. I'm going to do some clarifiers, but I feel like right now what universe is asking you to do is goes back to that temperance energy. Have patience and know that if you keep doing the right things, like it says, praying, affirmations, visualizations, and loving yourself, and then obviously going out and flirting, you'll see some major progression very soon. I don't even think in 6 months. I think earlier than that. Maybe even by Valentine's Day. Let's see. You got, for flirt, you got Major Arcana, Magician. So, I'm taking this a few different ways. Obviously, Magician he has all the resources to manifest whatever you want. So right now you can manifest whatever you like in your love area. Also, for some reason, some of you may be doing some spell work. Maybe that's some like potions or whatever to kind of bring it in, and it may be effective because these next two cards show a very positive ending. For calling your soulmate, you got the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a celebration. It's like a marriage. It's like a commitment. It's like two people coming together and celebrating their union. And lastly, for love yourself first, you got the Lovers. The Lovers. Yeah. So if you lay the groundwork and you do your manifestation and your workings, and using the proper resources, you're going to get what you want. I had a feeling by June, July, you'll definitely see a different you, and you'll be happier for it. So Taurus, that was your 2020 in January spread. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave them below. I think I'll definitely be more committed this year to posting more on the YouTube channel, but you can also find me on Instagram under Goldest Tarot. Also, I think I'm going to add more content, obviously doing the readings, but I think I'm going to work on do some videos on manifestation and different techniques that I've learned through my journey, so we can both learn together. So 2020 will be a wonderful year for all of us. And have a wonderful January. I will see you in February, and thank you so much. Bye.